What if I told you that the very way you've been praying could be blocking your breakthrough? I'm not talking about the words you say or how long you pray, but the position you're in when you do it. I know it sounds strange, even a little uncomfortable to think about, but stay with me. The Bible gives us quiet but powerful warnings about how we approach God. And most of us are missing them, not because we don't love God, but because we've grown too comfortable. Have you ever found yourself lying in bed, eyes barely open, whispering a prayer as you drift off to sleep? You tell yourself, at least I'm still praying. And yes, God hears every cry, every whisper. But what if that habit, that casual approach is sending a message to heaven you don't realize you're sending? What if God is waiting for you to meet him with focus, with intention, with reverence, and all he's getting is your leftover energy? This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. We live in a world of convenience, fast food, fast answers, fast faith. And somewhere in the middle of all that, prayer has become another checkbox. But prayer is supposed to be power. It's supposed to be war. It's supposed to be sacred. Yet here we are, scrolling our phones 1 second, then tossing up a prayer from under the covers the next. I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm here to wake us up. Because the way you pray matters more than you think. And if we're being honest, some of us have been asleep not just physically but spiritually for far too long. Let's talk about what the Bible really says about how we approach God and why lying down might not be as harmless as we think. The comfort trap. How we got too relaxed with prayer. My family, we live in a time where everything is designed to make life easier. We've got smart devices that obey our voice, apps that bring food to our doorstep, and even church services we can stream while lying on the couch. It's a world of comfort. And while comfort isn't a bad thing, it becomes dangerous when it starts to affect our relationship with God. Somewhere along the way, that comfort began creeping into our prayer life. And now, many of us have turned deep, powerful moments with God into bedtime rituals. Whispered prayers spoken while half asleep, minds scattered and hearts unfocused. How did we get here? We didn't plan to. It happened slowly. Maybe you started praying lying down just because you were tired one night. Then it became a habit. Now it's the norm. Your eyes are barely open. The day's stress is still on your mind. And before you finish saying amen, you're already drifting off to sleep. My family, be honest, how often has your prayer turned into snoring? We say we're still talking to God, but are we really listening? Are we truly connecting with the creator of the universe, or just squeezing him into whatever time we have left at the end of the day? We've given him the leftovers and called it enough. But prayer was never meant to be convenient. It was meant to be sacred, intimate, focused. When you look at the way Jesus prayed, it was always with intention. He would go away to quiet places. He would wake up early. He would kneel before the Father. Not once do we see him casually praying as he drifted off to sleep. Why? Because he knew the weight of prayer. He knew it was more than words. It was connection. It was alignment. It was warfare. This is the comfort trap, and too many of us have fallen into it. We've traded reverence for routine and presence for posture. It's not that God won't hear you when you're lying down. It's that you might not be giving him your full heart when you do. My family, it's time we wake up and relearn what it means to truly meet God in prayer. The Bible's view posture reflects reverence. My family, let's take a moment to look at what the Bible actually shows us about how people approached God in prayer. Because when we study the lives of those closest to God, those who walked in deep power and divine favor, we see something consistent. They didn't just pray with words. They prayed with their whole body, their whole heart, and their entire being. Look at Jesus, the Son of God himself. In Luke 22, verse 41, it says, he withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, knelt down and prayed. Jesus didn't just whisper a prayer lying back in comfort. He knelt. He got on his knees. And not because it looked religious, but because it showed surrender. He was about to face the cross, and he knew he needed deep communion with the Father. That posture was a reflection of the seriousness, the reverence, the desperation in his heart. Now let's look at Daniel. In Daniel 6:10, we're told that he went home to his upstairs room with the windows open toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God. Daniel didn't pray once a day or casually before bed. He scheduled time with God 3 times a day, and each time he knelt down. This was a man in exile, surrounded by enemies, yet he made space to honor God, not just with his words, but with his body. And what about David, the man after God's own heart? In Samuel 12:16, it says that David lay all night on the ground in prayer and fasting for his child. He wasn't just speaking to God, he was pouring himself out, face down, completely humbled. That posture said, God, I have nothing. You are everything. These aren't just ancient stories. These are examples. Their posture wasn't tradition. It was truth expressed through the body. It was a physical demonstration of their spiritual reality. My family, when you kneel, when you stand in worship, when you lay face down before the Lord, you are telling heaven, I'm here. I'm serious. I'm surrendered. Posture doesn't make your prayers more powerful, but it reveals the power that's already stirring in your heart. It's not about impressing God. It's about honoring him. The hidden danger, lying down, can reflect a lazy spirit. My family, let me be clear, praying while lying down is not a sin. God is not looking to punish you for your position. He's not waiting to strike because your head is on a pillow. No, our God is full of mercy and understanding. He knows when you're tired. He knows when your body is in pain. He even knows when all you have strength for is a whispered, help me, Lord, from under the blankets. But here's the thing we don't talk about enough. Sometimes lying down during prayer isn't about weariness. Sometimes it reveals something deeper, a lazy spirit. We like to say God looks at the heart, and that's absolutely true. But the Bible also shows us over and over that our actions and posture reflect what's going on inside that heart. If you always find yourself praying only when you're in bed, eyes half closed, mind half awake, my family, ask yourself honestly, is my spirit truly focused? Am I giving God my full attention? Or am I giving him my... You wouldn't meet your boss lying down. You wouldn't greet a respected guest sprawled across your couch. So why do we treat the King of Kings with less urgency and less reverence than we do a human being? It's not about legalism. It's about awareness. Posture tells a story. It reveals how alert you are, how serious you are, how hungry you are to hear from God. Many people say they don't feel connected during prayer. And I believe for some it's because the posture of their body is matching the posture of their distracted mind. When you're lying down, the body relaxes, the mind wanders, and before long, you're thinking about everything but God. Again, I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to stir you, to challenge you to think deeper. My family, if you're going through something serious, if you need real answers, if you're longing for God to move, you can't afford to come to him half asleep. Stand up, kneel, sit upright. Whatever it takes to show with your body that your spirit is awake, because the truth is simple. How you show up to pray says a lot about how much you expect from God. Let's start showing up like we mean it. Satan's silent weapon, distraction and drowsiness. My family, One of the enemy's most successful tactics isn't loud, obvious sin. It's silent distraction. It's drowsiness. It's spiritual sleepiness that sneaks in and steals your focus, your fire, and your connection with God. The devil knows he can't stop your prayers completely, so he tries to dull them. He wants you to pray tired, pray unfocused, pray distracted, so that the words leave your lips but never touch heaven. Look at what happened in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus was about to face the cross. It was the most intense moment of his earthly life, and the enemy used. The same thing happens to us today. We sit down to pray, and suddenly our eyes get heavy, our phone buzzes, a random thought distracts us, we yawn, we drift, and before we know it, we're not praying, we're zoning out. Or worse, we fall asleep and call it quiet time. My family, that's not just coincidence. That's spiritual warfare. Satan doesn't need to pull you into deep rebellion. He just needs to lull you into spiritual laziness. He'll wrap it in comfort and convenience. He'll make you believe it's harmless. But every time you push prayer to the background, every time you treat it as a bedtime routine instead of a battleground, you're stepping away from power. Jesus warned the disciples because he knew the pressure that was coming. And he knows what's coming for you too. That's why he says, watch and pray. Stay alert. Stay awake. This isn't just about getting answers. It's about staying spiritually alive. My family, don't let the enemy rock you to sleep. Don't let comfort become a cage. You have to fight for focus. Fight for fire. Fight to stay spiritually awake. Because the moment you close your eyes in distraction, you open a door for defeat. Stay sharp. Stay prayerful. Stay in position. Balance. When it's okay and when it's a problem. My family, let's take a moment to recognize something important. God is not a legalist. He understands that there are days when you are physically exhausted, when you're sick, or when pain keeps you from standing or kneeling. In those moments, lying down to pray is not wrong. God isn't watching your posture. He's watching your heart. If you're struggling with your health or fatigue, God sees you. He knows the limits of your body, and he is full of compassion for you. There will be times when your body needs rest, and it's okay to pray lying down. The key is not to let it become a habit, not to let it be the default position every time you talk to God. Prayer is meant to be a sacred encounter, a time when you intentionally position yourself to meet with the Creator of the universe. And sometimes that requires more than just convenience. It requires focus. It requires discipline. If lying down becomes the default, we run the risk of turning prayer into a routine, a simple task we do just to check it off the list. We end up saying words without meaning, going through the motions without truly engaging. And while God hears our words, there's something deeper happening in prayer, a connection, a communion, a deepening of our relationship with Him. If we're always in a relaxed, passive position, we might miss the depth God wants to take us to in prayer. It's not about a rule, it's about respect. When you stand, kneel, or sit upright in prayer, you're telling God, I am here, I am ready, I am focused. You're showing Him that you're not just squeezing Him into your schedule, you're prioritizing Him. Prayer is a spiritual discipline, not just a reaction. It's an opportunity to draw near to God, and that requires our full attention. My family, grace is abundant when we need it. God understands our limitations, but don't let your need for comfort overshadow your need for connection. Let's challenge ourselves to pray with purpose. Let's be intentional about how we approach the throne of grace. Whether you're standing tall or kneeling low, don't let comfort become your crutch. Seek God with all your heart, mind, and body. Give Him the best of you. My family, if what you've heard today resonates with you, I want to hear from you. I want you to reflect on how you approach prayer. Are you waking up to the way you've been praying? Are you realizing that maybe you've gotten too comfortable or distracted in your spiritual life? If this message has stirred something in your heart, type "I'm waking up" in the comments below. Let's make this a moment of accountability. When we share in this commitment together, we can help each other stay on track, stay alert, and stay focused. Well, it's time for a wake-up call, not just for ourselves, but for each other. We're all in this journey of faith together, and we need to encourage one another to go deeper, to pray more earnestly, and to be intentional about how we meet with God. We've got to shake off the distractions, the laziness, and the comfort that dull our spiritual edge. If this hit home for you, you're not alone. We're all waking up together.